Hi, and welcome to Coach's Corner, where systems matter and both personal and professional learning and development is beneficial for everyone and essential for some. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Let's get started.
We move forward into the creative side of being an entrepreneur. My first question is, do you think creativity looks a specific way, or do you think it's open up more now? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, because I used to think creativity was like, you had to be in the arts, right? You would draw, you would paint, you would dance, you would sing, so on and so forth. And I would never have guessed that I was a creative dude. I'm super creative. I'm creative with the ads that I do. So I have a company that's called Global Freedom Insurance Solutions Inc.
Yeah.
And so I came up with the little slogan of GFI, right? Global Freedom Insurance.
Yeah.
GFI were to go to bed at 8 or a decent hour.
Yeah.
I would get better rest. I'd wake up a little bit more rejuvenated.
Right.
Or I would have the potential for losing an extra pound, right? Gee, if I were to kiss my wife more, she'd probably run the other direction.
Yeah.
Right? GFI. Now, is that ultra creative? Like, oh my gosh,
right,
you're the most creative guy. No.
But
in the same breath, in 8th grade, or is actually 6th, 7th, 8th grade, I was the intramural captain, right, of my team.
Yeah.
Well, we ran plays, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't say like, go to the third tree on the left side of the fourth piece of, grass over there and I'll throw you the ball. I was like, this is your playbook, dude. Right? Where'd I learn that from? My mom, she's a school teacher. She did lesson plans. Her lesson plans were to teach people to add and subtract and English language arts and blah. My lesson plans were sports.
Right.
So you have to be creative to make those plays. I mean, I don't know if you remember last year in the Super Bowl, but the Chiefs, I think it was in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did that little weird thing and then they... Yeah. That's creative. Right. Now, we talk about it. Did they just create that out of their head? No. I think Andy Reid was going back and looking at old school footage, like from the 30s, and they saw that play. But either way, he was creative enough.
Right.
And think about the success that dudes have.
Yeah. I mean, they have a chance to go to the Super Bowl again.
I mean, but either way, I mean, you're a world champion.
Yeah.
Well, how much higher do you want to go than that?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, exactly. I don't think there is.
Exactly.
When it comes to being creative, what is your process?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that, because I think a lot of times people, they'll say, oh, I just do this or whatever. I have a system, shocker, the systems matter guy, right? Yeah. With a Z, by the way, that's my last name, Xandis. But yeah, so, if you take a look at that, I call it the brainstorming or the mind dump.
Yeah.
And so what I do is I just, everything that, on that particular topic that I can think of. So let's say I was thinking about opening a new business, right? I'm an entrepreneur and I have an idea of a new business. So I'm going to brainstorm or mind dump just everything I can think of, right? Yeah. And a lot of the stuff will make sense, and some of it will be like, you're going to wear a golden halo on Tuesday? But you just get it out, right? No matter what it is, you just mind dump, right? Yep. Then you go to column 2, and what you do is you start to categorize.
Okay.
So let's say some of the things you said was, well, I'm going to need a salesperson, I'm going to need a secretary, I'm going to need a CPA, I'm going to need whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'm creating this business. So then you formulate that in column 2. It's a people column.
Yeah.
Or a personnel, column.
Okay.
Whatever. Or let's say you're talking about where it's, I got to get some paper, I got to get a computer, I got to get, a microphone, I got to get, whatever. Yeah. Maybe that's equipment or supplies. But either way, you categorize that. And then from there, you go to column 3 and you take them individually, each over the new category, and you brainstorm the same way you did in column 1. Just dump everything you can think about in there. So when you do that, that'll get the creative juices to start.
Right.
So let's say you get stuck though.
Yeah.
Right? So there's writer's block or, whatever.
Yeah.
Happens to me every second, it seems like. Because I'm putting systems together and how does this work? It's got to go in 5, it's got to go in 3, whatever. Yeah. And so, how they say a lot of times your best work's done in the shower?
Yeah.
That's proven scientifically why that is. I don't remember all the exacts on it.
Yeah.
But, you're relaxed, you got warm on you, different things like that.
Yeah.
Taking a walk, to rejuvenate. Sometimes you got to step away to be able to step forward.
Right.
Because, you get in that writer's block and you're not able to do that. And I think it's the same with all entrepreneurs out there, that sometimes you just get into a little bit of a rut on an idea or on trying to figure out the next idea.
Yeah.
So I always say, go for a walk, go out in nature, go get something hot on you, a sauna or a bath or a hot shower or, something like that. Get out in nature, do that, just stop, go watch, your favorite movie, go and sing, go do something silly, whatever. And remember, your subconscious is way more powerful than your conscious.
Yeah.
And it's working on stuff all the time.
Right.
Right. Talk about mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's subconscious. It's working all the time.
Yeah.
And it's usually working towards your favor. That's why I say you have to get good sleep at night, because, you don't get into that REM sleep. Your mind that's trying to sort and do all these different things is really not able to function like that.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
By the way, on a quick side note, do you know the difference? They did a study one time where sleep deprivation and drinking alcohol.
Yes.
Who would, and they were driving a simulator.
Yes.
Sleep deprived people were way worse off than the people that were drinking,
which is crazy.
Is that crazy?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because you always hear about the DUI that ended in sadly a fatality or something like that. You never hear about the sleep deprivation ones, because they probably don't really happen because you're smart enough to say, hey, I can't drive right now, versus after you've been drinking.
And I don't know if I agree with that. I think there's a lot of people where they just don't know, and it was an accident, right? I mean, have you ever driven and almost went to sleep before?
Yes.
And you're a smart guy.
Yeah.
So
true.
I think that we all think we can do things. I've done it before.
Yeah.
It's scary, man. And so I think that, and that's the thing. You can go below a .08, and that's over the legal limit. But you can't go below the fact that you were only 4 hours asleep the night before, or 4 nights in a row, or
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. So,
don't mean to disagree with the boss over here, but I think it is different in regards to, sometimes what we think is really bad. There's other things that are a lot worse.
Yeah. So when it comes to being creative, do you think that is something? And I know, I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyways, because you like to say gray and different things like that. But do you think it's taught or you're born with it?
Being creative?
Yeah.
I think it can be a both and, right? I mean, I think that I gave you some science on how to be creative with brainstorming or the mind dump. I call it there's the science, the robotic version, right? And then there's the art form on it. Right, or what I call the talent level.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, of course, some people can look at that rock and turn it into a statue.
Right.
That's pretty dang creative.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if that was Michelangelo or Van Gogh or, the Van brothers, whatever. Yeah. But so I think people have a propensity to be able to say that 3 times fast, propensity.
I don't even think I can spell it.
You can't say it once.
Yeah.
I'll be like... But anyway, I think that, they can do that, or they can look at that. Like, what about these doggone tattoo artists that they take, lips of Jerry, and Jerry, the woman's no longer with Jerry, and so they turn it into some, freaking forest with, that's creative, dude.
Yeah.
So I think it's a both and. I think people are born with certain talents, whether it be in sport, whether it be in creativity, whether it be, in having more empathy or sympathy. But I think it's a cop-out for people to say, well, I wasn't born that way. Well, get over it and go work on it. Go practice.
Yeah.
Right?
Gotcha. What, I don't know how I want to ask this, but I'll do the best I can. How do you think people express themselves creatively?
Propensity.
Yeah. How do you think they express themselves in an entrepreneur way? Because I think that obviously there's people that are artists that become entrepreneurs. How do they, express themselves, or vice versa, people that are sports people and have no clue how to be an artist or whatever, but still have to express themselves creatively?
Well, if you're coming to this channel, we're not the sharpest tool in the shed, but we care about you and we'll work hard, right? Well, look, I think it's a two-part question, and so in the end, I think that we're all creative in our own, genre of the talent that was God-given to us, right? And so whatever that may be, the question to me that's way more important: what are you going to do with it? Right. So I'm not the most talented guy. I'm not. I wasn't. I will never be. But I have some talented things that I do.
Yeah.
I'm able to troubleshoot in a moment like this. Right.
Yeah.
And isn't that what a coach has to do?
Yes.
Right. And so I think I had some natural talents to be able to read the situation, both with art and with science, and be able to dissect it really quickly, make a new play, and say, we're going to go this direction. Right. And if you give me some time, I'm going to be real deadly with it. Yeah. So we had a gal, she wound up playing the WNBA, and when I was coaching, I did a little bit of scouting, not a lot. I mean, it was 8th grade girls basketball, but I was competitive. I wanted to win, and I wanted to give my girls the best chance to succeed. Yes. So anyway, I watched this girl, and she's a professional player. Yeah. Right. And so, but I watched her. Nobody else on her team could do anything, but she scored like 35, 40, 45 a game. And if anybody knows anything about 8th grade girls basketball, if you score 30, you've probably won. Yeah. And she could do that by herself. Yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy. Well, and like I said, she played the WNBA for a while. Yeah. Yeah. And I think she's a pretty high-level coach now, too. Hey, Nikki, how you doing? And so anyway, this was the county championship game. We had a good team. Not a great team, but a good team. Yeah. And so I got my soccer player gal, who wasn't great at basketball, but she was in shape because she played soccer. Yeah. And she'd do whatever I told her to do. Yeah. Right? And so we diamond and won this gal. And and it was one of those things as a coach, as all the coaches know, normally you'll say, this is how it's going to go down. Doesn't always go down that way. Yeah. This went down exactly to a T the way I said it would. I said, so we're going to diamond and won her, and we're going to wear her down, number one, with Ariana, who was, going to follow her wherever. Yeah. And I said, number two, we'll double team off of that because, she's still going to score about 10 or 12, 14, 18 points. Yeah. And so at halftime, I said, we'll be up about 22 to 18. But I said, after that, at the rest of it, we're going to win about 40 to 22 because she's going to be so doggone tired, she won't even be able to lift her arms up. And I said, we'll start triple teaming her because I knew that when she would throw the passes to her other teammates, they couldn't even catch the ball. Right. Yeah. So sure enough, I mean, exactly like the way that I said it. Right? Yeah. And so, there was some creativity there to be able to know, but there was also some experience, a box and one or diamond and one in this case, and to be able to call those things. And so in the end, when you take a look at that, if the other coach was as experienced and as skilled, both art and science of where I was at, she would have known how to run her off screens and stuff. And she would also maybe prepared her other kids because I don't care how many screens you run off. If you're getting triple team, you're going to have to give it up to somebody. Yeah. And they couldn't even catch the ball because she would throw it too hard or, whatever it was. Right. Yeah.
That's crazy. And so, I guess the question is, with being an entrepreneur, how important is being creative? There you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it is important, but there's a lot of, let's say, entrepreneurs that aren't super creative, but they can just follow what the next guy did almost to a T, and that's okay too. Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know how many detergents are out there, but I'm guessing, to clean your clothes. Yeah. But I'm guessing there's hundreds, if not thousands. Yeah. And not every one of those were creative enough to go, back in whatever 1400s or 1500s or whatever. I'm not a history connoisseur, but go, people stink, and because they're wearing the same clothes all the time. You might want to get this thing called soap or detergent
Right.
and do whatever.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of people that can take what was already done with detergent and just go, okay, here's the step by step. Because my buddy Joe, who's now my neighbor, who's retired, used to work for him, he told me the step by step. Well, you don't have to be super creative. It was like paint by numbers. Do you remember that when you were a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Paint yellow in the ones, paint, yeah.
Right.
And that's okay too. So you don't have to be super creative.
Right.
So you have the person over here that, does all this amazing artwork.
Yeah.
Then you have the paint by numbers guy, still looks pretty darn good.
Right, absolutely. Gotcha. And so
If you need to contact Brett or Coach, please do so on his social media accounts, email, and or text. You can find that information in the description below. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Thanks, and we hope you enjoyed.
Say what?
Yeah.
You can say ideological ideas, but we can't say creativity?